Hannah Dawson with DAC FP TV, and today we're going to be speaking with Adil Abdullali. He's a Chief Investment Officer with Securitize. So Adil, can you help us define what a stock transfer agent is and maybe talk about the role that they play in the crypto ecosystem?
Sure, Anna. A stock transfer agent effectively is a way to record who owns a stock. So when a company raises capital in the capital markets, they're either issuing equity, which is called stock, or even debt, which is a bond. And the person who first buys that piece of equity, something has to keep track of who owns it. And then if that person sells it to the third person, it has to be recorded somewhere because the company needs to know who the shareholders are and what amount of the equity they own. So the transfer agent is a very regulated activity. It's regulated by the US government agencies because they want to make sure that the people buying these equities are actually able to buy them. They're not some terrorist country or anything like that. And the company itself needs to get votes from the owners of these shares. So the transfer agent is the entity that coordinates getting votes on any type of governance, on any board elections and things like that. So essentially it's a record keeping of who owns what and where it's going to. Now, in the crypto world, to get a security onto the crypto rails, the transfer agent function has to be transferred onto a blockchain. So now essentially a transfer agent, like the old way, the transfer agent had a piece of paper. They would stamp the piece of paper, write somebody's name, have signatures, triplicate, they had fax it places, all of that stuff. That proof of ownership instead can just be an entry in the blockchain. And then if I sell it to somebody else, that entry in the blockchain gets changed. And that's essentially a ledger that keeps track of ownership. That's what a blockchain is. And it's a very efficient way to be a stock transfer agent. In crypto, the entire world of security tokens, which is taking private funds or any type of issuance, even a private equity issuance by a company, ends up being recorded on a blockchain by something that is structured as a transfer agent and regulated by the US government. But it's an on-chain transfer agent. It makes the whole security token ecosystem work.
Adil, what should financial advisors know about security tokens and the role that they play possibly in their clients' portfolio?
So a security token is not something scary at all. It's just a security. It starts out being a stock or a bond or a private share, LP interests. And the token part of it is just that the record of who owns that is going to be kept on the blockchain instead of any other way. Like for private funds, usually it's kept in the books and records of the fund and audited and all of that stuff. And it's kind of opaque. It's out there. It's kind of hidden. Whereas if that was recorded on a blockchain for the company itself, for the fund itself, for the owners of the shares, they could now use a block explorer to see what types of trades there are, who's trading them, what sizes they're being transferred. So it ends up becoming a lot more transparent. For financial advisors and all of this entire community that's trying to get more access into the crypto world, essentially giving clients access to security tokens gives them a way of having liquidity in otherwise illiquid assets and also accessing a whole host of fund products in crypto, for example, that they could not do directly. For example, you could have an index fund with like 50 different coins in it. And then a retail investor or a high net worth individual, if they have like 100,000 to invest and they want to buy 50 different tokens, it's a real hassle. Instead of that, they could just buy a security token that represents the fund that's going to go do the work of buying the tokens and storing them and making sure everything is okay. So essentially, it's like managed account or a actively managed portfolio that now can have secondary liquidity. So it is really a great innovation, but it's going to be a long time before it becomes mainstream.